should probably move this closer. Hello, everyone.
What game is it? I get to rip you finally.
For it. I should probably. I just lost track of time.
73rd game.
73rd? Yes.
Yes. Down to the nitty gritty.
Yeah.
Oh, you're just fact checking me now.
Just fact checking, just making sure. Okay. It is a Friday afternoon. You never know for sure. Welcome everybody to another edition of Check-In. We're so happy that you can join us. I'm Sarah Lesky. He's
Jamie Thomas.
Yeah,
with the hat on.
Yes, you're looking good. Looking good. I like the addition to it. We are here over the next 30 minutes to get you set for tonight's game against the New Jersey Devils. This should be a great one, again, in terms of atmosphere for sure. I don't think quite a sellout yet, but very much on the cusp. So expecting it to be. It has been fantastic at Canada Life Center recently in terms of the atmosphere. And definitely it was on Tuesday night when the Washington Capitals were in town. We had hyped up that game, as had everybody else, the top two teams in the league going head to head, 2 points separating them in the standings, and it lived up to its billing. Yeah,
that's the problem, because you always build things up and you're telling everybody at home, this is gonna be a great game. Everybody, you got to tune, you got to watch, you got to buy tickets. And the Capitals and the Jets delivered. Alex Ovechkin getting oh so close to passing. Wayne Gretzky scored against the Jets again. And I was coming down from the press box. I go to Matt Frost Media Center. I heard this loud cheer, and I'm like, oh my gosh, they made it 3-1. No, there's a lot of Capital fans in the building, and I think a lot of people were tied up in the fact that you're getting closer and closer to history.
Yes.
That was exciting. It was unfortunate that they tied it. They go to overtime. Nikolai Ehlers, who was on the ice forever.
Yes.
There's a great runway moment out of that.
It was a great celebration when Ehlers scored. And then it was a great call by Paul Edmonds as well. If you haven't had the opportunity to see it, it is on Winnipeg Jets social channels. We timed it up and cut it so that you could see Paul's reaction, because we have a GoPro in the broadcast booth with Paul and Mitchell Clinton. And so as Nikolai Ehlers was celebrating and taking in the adulation, as Paul put it, from the crowd, so was Paul Edmonds talking like this, which I loved.
The timing was perfect the way you guys cut that. It was well done by the guys.
Matthew, it was a great call. It was a fantastic call. Looking forward to seeing many people in the building tonight, and so many people in the chat already, which we love to see. People chiming in. John is saying hello from Edmonton. We've got, I think, Texas in here as well. A bunch of people. So it's great to see so many, and so many regular faces as well. We always love to have you there. But mentioned, it's the game against Washington was fantastic. Clinched a spot in the postseason, all important.
They clinched the part was they clinched it. They got the 1 point. That's all they needed.
Yeah.
And then overtime was extra on top of that. So it was nice to have the win to clinch the playoff spot, and then of course win the game as well and sweep the season series with the Capitals, who they're 1 point behind now for the race in the President's Trophy. And as I keep popping up here, and this gets brought up a lot, every team in the Central Division, and we're not counting Nashville and Chicago, they just keep winning. It's so now all of a sudden you're looking at, okay, you finished first in the conference, but now you're getting the red hot Minnesota Wild and the red hot St. Louis Blues.
Yeah.
Minnesota's getting Kirill Kaprizov back. Joel Eriksson-Ek has been out for a long time too. So I don't know. The Central Division is living up to what we thought it was going to be early in the year, minus Nashville. I didn't have a whole lot of hope for Chicago.
No, but expected Nashville to be in there. So clinching a playoff spot in 72 games, which is what the Jets did. That's the fewest games they've ever needed before to clinch a spot, which is great.
Yes.
To be able to see that this team continues to roll. So you go through the highs and lows that they've experienced so far. What I love, though, is we have seen them be able to park, whether it be a win or a loss, and move on to the next one. It's cliche, but it's what they've been able to do. And so they will need to do that against New Jersey tonight, because although this is obviously an important 2 points, you mentioned, Dallas is right behind them now, neck and neck for it. But this game is not going to have the emotional intensity going in that you would have had with Washington.
That being said, I'm glad you brought that up, because last time Winnipeg played New Jersey, it was in New Jersey.
Yes.
It was 6-1.
Trade deadline day.
Yeah, it was trade deadline day. Kelly Moore kind of brought that up today with Kyle Connor, and he kind of, he mentioned the fact that you had those games, you're going to another team's building, and for whatever reason, things don't go right, or even on home ice where things don't go right, and you're frustrated about the whole thing. So I'm sure New Jersey has something to prove. They're trying to improve their standings in the Metropolitan Division. They are 7 back of Carolina for a second spot in home ice, and that should those two teams play in the first round, which is what it looks like at this point. They have the Islanders way behind them at this juncture, but not having Jack Hughes, Dougie Hamilton being out of the line. Those are significant losses to their roster. So
they have just been inconsistent, I think, is the way that described them most. Since Hughes went out, so they've played 11 games without him. They're actually 5-5-1. And something that you can't overlook with New Jersey is that they have continued to put up the offense.
Yes.
I mean, they're still averaging over, I think, 3 goals a game. They've got a potent power play, even without him, operating over 30%, 34%, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
But they have really struggled with that consistency element and that idea of playing a full 60 minutes. The third period have been their kryptonite when you look at recent games.
Yeah.
Very much so. They have given up in that 11-game stretch. They have given up 19 third period goals, most in the league. And so goals for and against, their differential has really changed over these last 11 games. But they are hoping that they will obviously be able to maybe just get back on track.
Right.
They got the win against Chicago. They held off a push by the Blackhawks in the third period. And from a Devils perspective, they're hoping that that's a positive sign for them to build on.
And then another thing where just like Winnipeg has to, like, I thought all 3 periods, and of course a little bit of extra overtime with Washington, they played so well. Like they're getting pucks in, getting hard on the forecheck, not trying to make that extra move at the blue line. They're like everything, their game plan that they've been trying to drill in throughout the year, they executed perfectly. So I think of 2 times they've been challenged in the month of March, Dallas and Washington. They answered bell both times, but they have to keep this going because of what we've been talking about. Dallas is right behind them, 6 points back with a game in hand.
Okay, so we are excited to have Tim Stapleton,
yes,
former Winnipeg Jet, join us. Always one of the best personalities that have ever come through this organization, but just is known very well for his storytelling abilities anyways. So looking forward to having Tim join us just shortly. But let's take a look at what the lines were. It was a full morning skate today. And the lines are the same as what we saw from last game, except for that fourth line where you see David Gustafsson draw back into the lineup and Morgan Barron moves back into the middle. Now, Scott Arniel said today that Rasmus Kupari had a setback. Didn't really elaborate beyond that, just that he had a setback. And he liked what he saw from Barron. Obviously, before that last game, Barron had played 8 games in the middle of that fourth line.
Yeah, and I think another thing too, even with Rasmus Kupari in the situation he's going with the setback, you got to keep rotating these guys in to keep them fresh, right? You're going to need everybody, so it's a good opportunity for David Gustafsson, who was playing so fantastic before he was taken out of the lineup, through no fault of his own, and that's a great thing that you hear from the coaching staff. It's not the players' fault. You just got to keep cycling these guys through. I thought Logan Stanley had a good game on Tuesday as well. I think they've got a nice pairing there with Colin Miller. And, Luke Shen had just visited his family again.
Yep.
So he talked about all the air miles he's stocking up, or that he could pack up right now. And he's also mentioned the fact he doesn't know if he's doing more damage just going in and then quickly coming out again. So, but I think everybody knows the answer to that one.
All right. Yes. Although I used to always, it is so tough when you come in and go out. You love being home.
Yes.
Everyone loves having you home. I remember when my daughter was young and if I'd be on the road for the playoffs. And I remember my husband once saying, please just stay.
Because they have a system.
He goes, don't come home. Because it was going to be, say, a 2-day break.
Yeah.
Just don't come home.
We have a system set up here. You're going to ruin the system.
It's going to make it worse. And then I'm going to have a crying child over the fact that you're leaving. But it's great. And Luke spoke again about just the fact that it's the organization that's been encouraging him to be able to go home and how important that is, because we know how challenging it is not only for Luke to be away from his family, but of course for his wife to have 3 kids and have Luke up here. But
something I don't want to miss this time. We forgot to get your bench interview with Alex Iafallo last game. We have to get it in this time, but it's not with Alex Iafallo.
It's with Dylan DeMelo. But before we do
you have something else, okay?
I do.
Yeah.
Before we do that, because we kind of have to set it up a little bit. So
I love it.
It's a little bit out of order. But first off, you need to know that Kyle Connor, if you haven't heard.
Yes.
Kyle Connor and his lovely wife, Allie, welcomed their first child.
Willa.
I didn't see her name. Oh,
yeah.
That's such a cute name. So congratulations to them. He was back. He missed yesterday's practice, back for the morning skate and will be in the game. So we were joking about new dad bump. You often see new dad score the first one. And I said, is it really a new dad bump if you're Kyle Connor, though?
Yeah. You score all the time anyways.
For it. But of
maybe
course,
a hat trick?
That's what we said. That'll be the hat trick, the Willa hat trick bump. And then you can just tell the energy that's around the room. And we've spoken about it. And undoubtedly, you've heard other people, maybe you've noticed it yourself just from the way that the players interact with each other, is that there's such a great energy amongst this group that they get along really well. They're having fun. And obviously winning helps. And so everybody's in better moods. But there's a real chemistry between this group. So because I asked Dylan DeMelo about that, I thought it was important beforehand to throw out the latest edition.
Before you get to that, because I remember when I had Dylan DeMelo on the podcast, I'm like, which dad are you excited to see, like, how they're going to handle it? He wouldn't tell me. I wish he would have told me, like, the guys who didn't think they're going to be very good at it to start.
Well, I think that everybody, if you've had kids, if you're watching and you've had kids, don't you?
That was amazing.
Well,
yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure Dad would argue, but I felt I did a great job.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Okay. All right.
Whatever makes you feel better.
All right. I feel like you're making fun of me right now.
Nope, not at all. Let's go to the latest edition of Canada Life Questions.
Team would be your emergency phone contact.
Wade Flaherty. No, not my little buddy Shapes. Wade Flaherty. He always answers for me. He's always there.
I would say lousy. At least by example.
Laos. Probably Laos. Laos is pretty responsible.
I appreciate that.
Gussie. Pretty trustworthy guy. I feel like Morgan Barron would know what to do. I mean, I gotta go in my fellow Finn. Grass.
Vladdy, the guy's on his phone 24/7.
That guy probably. Millsy.
Neil. Unfortunately, Shay.
We'll go with Neil. Guys picked me for sure, didn't they?
You haven't been said once.
Are you freaking kidding me?
I was going to say Bubs, but Bubs is a busy guy. I don't know if he would pick up.
Very, very fake news. Especially when he calls, I will always pick it up. And the fact that he's threw me on the bus is very, very disrespectful. I hope he sees that.
I got 2 kids. I would take care of the fellas. What do we got?
Not this guy. Vladdy or Laos, I would say.
Neil Pionka or Dylan DeMelo. I think they're going to answer their phone and they know what to do. Appy doesn't answer his phone, so that's the biggest issue with him.
You know what? I've had to call Fleurs a couple times in a hurry, and he answers every time. So Fleurs answers his phone. At least if I needed someone, I'd call Sammy. Maybe he answers his phone pretty well.
What about Al?
Al was the last guy. He won't get back to you for 3 weeks.
That's what I say about Bub.
I would say Eric Comrie would be there for me. I think he would be a good emergency contact. Or Laos. Those 2 guys. Can't believe no one picked me. I'm actually disappointed. I'm actually kind of rattled.
Muting each other. Thank you, everybody. So you just missed that part. We were just talking about how
Jamie thinks he would be an amazing emergency
I would, because I have 3
contact.
kids. I know how to handle all situations.
But that's not the point of the emergency contact necessarily. It's do you answer?
Yeah.
You don't think Alex Iafallo might be able to figure out a way to MacGyver things and figure? Of course he would, but he doesn't answer his phone. So what good is that? And I
would answer.
Okay.
So, because when you have 3 kids, you're looking for things to get out of the house. So I would answer the call. I gotta go. I got this call. There's a situation.
And I said, I am not a good emergency contact.
Yeah.
Because if I have my phone in my hand, then I am there. But if
you don't.
My phone is
Sarah answers text
90%
messages
of the time
24 hours later.
Is on do not disturb.
It's so true.
It's often on do not.
So that's what you missed while I had everything muted. Maybe on purpose. Okay, so I do like the pain that Dylan DeMelo had. Like he looked actually hurt about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
For it. He gives the best answers.
It does.
I mean, there's a lot of good answers there, but Dylan can always be counted on to give some of the best. So I did catch up with him.
You followed up?
I did.
As a good
I mean, I
journalist?
obviously asked about the game, and we talked a lot about this matchup tonight against
Yeah.
Jersey. But I did also ask about the fact that nobody wanted him to be there, went to him as their emergency.
Journalism 101. Follow up.
So win against Washington obviously allowed this team to be able to clinch a spot in the postseason. But just with the way that game was played, how important was a game like that at this point in the season?
Yeah, it's important. I think we need to go out and replicate it, though. That's the biggest thing is, you can have games like that, and it's great, but if you can't carry that momentum into the next game and the games after, you don't want to have a letdown in emotion. We knew, obviously, the best team in the West and the best team in the East going at it, very similar to the energy level against Dallas. And, those are the games that are, you kind of circle on the calendar and you get up for, and usually you don't have any problem getting up for those games. So for us, it's about replicating that again. We know, we got a desperate team coming in here in New Jersey that's battling for a playoff spot, and we still have a lot to work for too. Everybody seems to be winning in the Central, and we have to continue to do that ourselves and take care of business.
So what is the key in your mind to replicating the last game?
Well, just make sure we're into it emotionally. I think that's the biggest thing, is that we weren't on our heels. We were on our toes going after it. We were physical. We were in on battles and on scrums. We were skating, using our speed on the forecheck. So all those things, it just kind of starts with the mindset of being hard to play against, and that, at this time of year, all these games are tough games. So, you can't dip your toe in and try to ease into it. You got to get right into it.
You mentioned, everyone seems to be winning in the Central. You guys paying attention to the standings?
Yeah, we keep an eye for sure. We understand that, we can't control, obviously, what other teams are doing, and you don't get to pick who you play exactly. You go out there and you try to pick up as many wins, as many points as possible. But, it's Canada. It's on every channel, There's 4 Sportsnet channels and 4 TSN channels. It's there's not much to watch at 9 in the morning. So we don't MLB starting up, so maybe the MLB Network. But we're aware of it. But you can't take stock in it. You got to go out and just do your job and control what you can control.
Finally, Kyle Connor and his wife, Allie, welcome their first child. You have a couple of kids of your own, including the oldest one in the team, I believe. What advice would you give to a new dad?
Enjoy every moment. It goes by fast. Don't sweat the small things, and trust your instincts, really, as a parent.
And then, Leah, also, the players were asked yesterday about emergency contacts. Who would be the emergency contact? You voiced your displeasure that you weren't selected often.
I'm still a little disappointed in the guys. I haven't been talking to too many guys today. Been fat lip around the rink here, just dragging it on the floor.
We did want you to know Lowry did say.
Yeah, but I did think about it afterwards, and I do have 2 kids. I am quite busy. Maybe that's why.
Yeah.
I don't think it was a me thing.
No.
I think it's a them thing. So we're gonna go with that.
Thanks so much for your time. Appreciate it.
He's such a good sport.
He's still hurt.
Yeah.
This could be a problem. This could be a problem in the dressing room.
Could you imagine? That's the undoing.
You didn't list
the emergency.
Me. You didn't list me as
your
your emergency contact.
Everyone else is usually do not list me as an emergency contact. I do not want the responsibility.
I see a lot of people like this hat.
Yes.
You can get this hat in Jets gear.
You can. You can get 30% off for starter hats tonight from these 90s collection. So it's looking good. Although I did see someone say that they wanted you to not go flat brim. They wanted you to.
Well, I can't wreck because this is someone. I'm not buying this hat. So if someone has it,
I was just thinking he didn't want it to look dad-like, and so he.
Or I could do this dad cap like this.
So then, there you go.
Or like
no,
this.
I don't think is that dad-like. I don't know.
I see lots of my grandpa used to wear his hat like this.
So mine, a John Deere one, just
perched the mesh hat. Yeah, like what?
Perched on top.
You're just asking why did you even bother to wear the hat?
100%.
But as long as they have the hat on, that's all that's really going on. So 30% off these bad boys. I'm not going to bend this brim because it's somebody else's. Going to be somebody's hats one day.
One day,
especially at these prices.
Absolutely. Tim Stapleton's going to join us momentarily. Actually, just
he's
hopping on as we continue to get you set for today's game against New Jersey. For those wondering about the goalie matchup, because that's always a hot topic.
100%.
Jake Allen will get the start tonight for New Jersey, and he has been on a roll of late. I'm trying to see if I thought I had it written down somewhere, but his numbers have been incredibly impressive in his starts. 3 of his last 4 starts, he has won 1.77 goals against average and a .943 save percentage. So he is a good job. And Connor Hellebuck will be the man between the pipes for the Jets. And we know again what he's been able to do is he tries to put together not only a Vezina winning campaign, but possibly a Hart. I think certainly there'll be a lot of consideration for that.
There's a lot of consideration to bring our next guest on the show. It took us all 5 minutes to decide on. We had a meeting about it. We felt good about it. And here he is, Tim Stapleton. All around great guy. Tells the best stories. Wears a great hat.
I was just checking the standings after you texted me. I'm like, I better get my stats down here. What's going on? Thanks for having me on.
Hey, did you love this time of year? Like when the snow is, well, it's starting to snow again here today, but like when spring's coming, playoffs are around the corner like this, it's an exciting time of year, is it not?
Yeah, no, it's awesome. I think, then you got the Masters coming up. I feel like it's just a lot of, it's just sports in general is just, I feel like it's a good time. And yeah, no, I do get excited for the playoffs. I mean, and it's snowing there, did you say?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I forgot.
10 to 15.
It's like perfect out here, like the first warm day of the year. And my daughter decided to not go to school today. She's not feeling good. So I'm trying not to victimize myself all day. I should be out there playing golf. But no, it's it's a good time of the year for sure.
Hey, I'm curious as a father, did you look around at guys in the room that had kids and thought like that guy's gonna be, or who didn't have kids, and you could look at them and go, that guy's gonna be a good dad? Did you ever have any teammates where you just looked, they knew you were gonna be a good dad?
Yeah, that's a good question though. There's a couple. Are you asking me to like tell you who I thought would be the best dad?
Yeah. Just random questions,
No, it's a great question.
I mean, you made such a horrible mistake checking the standings to make sure you have on it, because this is parenting 101.
I know you guys threw a complete one. I'm like, I don't even remember anyone on my team. I barely remember like 5 guys. That was like 30 years ago. Probably like a Tanner Glass, probably.
Yeah.
He
just seems reliable.
It's just kind of like the name that came to my head.
Yeah.
No, he was just like, I mean, there's a couple of guys, Blake Wheeler, just guys that were responsible,
Right.
And I think there's definitely a couple guys that had Steve May. I mean, guys had kids, right?
Right.
But
did Wheeler ever do anything irresponsible during your time here? Because he always just straight laced. Blake Wheeler.
Oh,
do you ever do anything irresponsible? Because I just think he's a straight-laced guy all the time. That's what I felt like about him.
No, I don't think so. I think like that first year was, I think it was hard to kind of be. We were just lovable, like you know what I mean. Like the whole city was just so happy we were there. But like, I mean, I know when he was the captain, there was a lot of stress on him. But
yeah,
I didn't catch anything, or I mean, you want me to start just like. Calling guys out, like who was good, who
I like
was
that
bad.
stuff. Like who was
he was great. And no, I mean, I was just there that year, so
yeah, fair.
Yeah.
A hockey-related question for you, Tim. I know that you said that you checked the standings just to make sure that you knew, because things are changing. It seems all the time. It is crazy to me. Especially when you look at the Central Division, but in the East as well, when you look at the wild card races, what have you thought of this season so far? Because I'm loving that there's still so much on the line this late in the season.
Yeah, I feel like that whole conference, it's like you don't know. There's like 5 teams, right, that can be in the playoffs tomorrow, but that are not in the playoffs today or whatever. I know there's only a few points back, but I mean, I would love to see. I don't know. It'd be cool to see like Detroit in there. I'm surprised the Rangers are where they're at. I mean, there's some surprises, but like you got, I don't know. It's interesting. Like I think Montreal would be awesome if they got in, right?
Yeah.
But you don't know. I don't know. Who do you guys think's getting in?
Well, let's look at it this way. I'll throw it this way. Is it great for the NHL that you have no idea who's going to win the Stanley Cup every year? So like, there's some sports where you kind of have an idea. The Kansas City Chiefs in the NFL. I go down the list, but just is it great that the parity is so prevalent in the NHL right now?
Yeah, it's great. You ever gamble on hockey? I mean, I can say that now. It's like the worst sport to gamble on. Like anyone can beat anybody. It's not like, the Chiefs are going to win. It matters about how many points. It's like you don't know who's going to win. And I think that goes with what you just asked me. Like, you don't know. I mean, there's definitely, Florida could do it again. Tampa's back. I feel like they're good, like really good. They've always been good, but I would love to see Edmonton. Obviously, Winnipeg. Winnipeg's almost like quiet though. It's like weird. It's crazy how good they are, and being like almost best. I mean, what are they, 1 point back from Washington? But where I live, you don't really hear about them much. Probably because Chicago's so bad, they just hog the headlines of hockey here. But yeah, and that would be obviously
anybody else.
Winnipeg would be obviously they're my number one, but I don't want to. I'm just I don't want to jinx it.
What's it like for you to watch? I mean, after all these years, when you're watching hockey, can you sit back and just watch it as a fan? Do you find that you can be analytical, judgmental? What's it like?
All of those. I think no, sure, for sure. I mean, the first and foremost is the skill and the speed.
Yeah.
But then I'll count personally in my head how many times I'd get sent down if I made that play or this play. There is a lot of them these crazy turnovers and these things, but
it's true.
I think they just also are given more of a green light nowadays, where risky plays.
You were just playing at the wrong time, Tim.
Yeah. No, of course but it's really fun to watch, and I think I become an Edmonton fan too, just because they got the late games always where I'm at, and just being able to watch McDavid and Draisaitl, that's incredible. I mean, they're at a whole different level sometimes where I'm just I don't even know what they're doing. I mean, it's just I can't even explain how good they, at least on TV, how good they look.
Well, the skill across the board, you must. I mean, I always think that for laymen like myself, that you would look and go, I can't believe that they can do that. But you hear, and just the skill in general, whether it be when guys were doing the Michigan or various things, when you look at the skill that's in the league right now and the level of play, does it, beyond just McDavid and those elite, does it sometimes blow your mind at the level that everyone's gotten to?
Yeah, even that, my son, who's 10 years old, I think just in all ages and all of sports, specifically hockey. I mean, you could it's so much video now. You see a kid who shoots a piece of bread in a toaster, and everyone's he should be on the power play for it's crazy. Oh, sorry, I just swore. The stuff that goes on, outside where everyone. I think the skill is throughout the league incredible. And I think that's what even makes McDavid and guys like McDavid and Draisaitl that it much more, because they're just I just get blown away at Connor McDavid and how he night in and night out just does what he does with video and how you can really break down and another team's strategy. It's just crazy. He just does that every night. They can't stop him. It's crazy.
What does your son think of videos of you playing?
Oh, I'm still trying to convince him I played. I don't think he no. He looks at I laugh because he'll play his mini sticks and announce to himself, and he's Wheeler to Bufflin, and I'm hey, I played with them. He never, but no, I think no, it's funny. You know how the kids are nowadays. He's telling me how to play, but
hold your stick like this, Dad.
Yeah. No, he's great. He loves the game, and it's awesome because I don't really force that out on him. He just loves it, and we have a lot of fun with it.
Hey, did Dustin Bufflin ever give a big speech in the dressing room in your 1 year you were here?
No, he was never. Oh man, he would be throwing the trainer in the garbage can. He'd be he was the best. I actually saw him. I stayed with him a month ago.
Yeah.
And it was great. He's doing great. I told him he's like Bigfoot. No one believes he exists.
I know.
He's
been a part of 2 huge videos here, Wheeler's 1,000th game. And I'm trying to remember the other video he was part of. Helly's big game, 500th game. And he says 2 words, and the fans go absolutely bonkers. It's like the GST line. You don't have to give much to get people excited.
No, I know, and he, that's just. I think that's just him, right? He just keeps to himself. But I was just happy to see him, and yeah, like I said, he's alive. If anyone's wondering, he's real. He does exist. He's still out there.
Did you marvel at just what he would do? on
100%. I say today, I don't think there'll ever be another Dustin Buff, just because everyone's like so in shape now. And not saying he wasn't. He was in a different. He's just a big dude. He was like 270 pounds in Atlanta. I saw him step on the scale, and the way he would move out there, and just how strong he was. I really don't think there'll be another Dustin Bufflin like ever.
He could have played the game without shoulder pads, probably. Hey, like
I played in a thing last year with Andrew Ladd at like his foundation, and we did this 3-on-3 thing, and so everybody, and there was like 5 teams. Everybody was dressed full equipment, like just except shoulder pads, and he was out there with just shin guards on, no pants, and you couldn't even tell, like he was so big, and he just moved, and he was still the same Buff. He was just like, he has He's awesome. He's just got a great personality. He's just a fun guy.
Well, we're coming up next year on the 15th anniversary. Maybe we'll have to get everybody back.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be fun? We could do.
That would be awesome. I always say it was such a, I talked to Wheels a little bit, and but there's some guys I haven't talked to. I'd be great to like reconnect, because you know how it is. I think when I came to the Heritage Night, I saw like Derek Meach and a couple guys, and it was just like you don't miss a beat, right? So it'd be cool to see everybody for sure.
Can you just tell the story about when you spilled coffee in Wheeler's vehicle before you go? It's like your
yeah, I don't think he knows that. I'll try to keep it short, but he had like this brand new like Range Rover, and I drove to Minnesota. And then I drove with him and this was like at the time when like he was looking for like a place to stay, and I was like with him, and it was like I didn't even know if I was gonna be on the team, so I was like kind of like I'm looking for like I was just like tagging along with him. But what happened? Yeah, he was. We went to Starbucks, and he had these like real nice like white leather seats, like brand new. Like I'm talking like there was. And I don't know what I did, but I went to like I put something in the back seat, and I went to shut the back door, and then I hit my own hand, and I just threw coffee all over the back seat, right? And I didn't say anything. I was just like, oh my God, like I didn't say anything, and like he didn't notice. So we just like get in the car, and we're driving. We were going to some like a guy's house we knew there. And I'm like, how am I gonna like pull this off? And I just didn't tell him. And we got to the guy's house, and then like we went inside. And I'm like, I gotta go back out in the car. And I took a towel, and I cleaned it all up, and he never knew. I eventually told him, I'm like, I threw coffee all over this. He's like, what are you talking about? But that was it. It was such a dumb situation. It was fun.
I appreciate it, buddy. Appreciate the story.
Thanks.
We hope to see you up here. We hope to see you up here sometime. It'd be great if you came up for one of the playoff games.
Oh no, for sure. I'd love to. I mean, if they win the cup, like I want to be like put in the cup,
You're gonna be part of the team photo if you get in.
We see.
No, I'm rooting for him. It'll be awesome.
Babies put in the cup. That is what I want.
I appreciate you guys. Thanks for having me on for sure.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate all
Good
the
luck
best.
with the rest of the day with the sick child.
Just suffering.
Bye, Tim.
See you, Tim. Tim Stapleton joining us.
Such a good guy. As we wrap things up here right now, a lot of people are going to head over to Winnipeg Sports Talk, continue to get things set up. Just a reminder, so tonight the New Jersey Devils are in town. The Jets looking to build off of that exciting win against Washington for that big emotional win. One of the things quickly that I'm looking for, you see the big emotional win, how do they respond to it? Because this game doesn't have that same sort of natural storylines that Washington did. If you remember, they had the big win against Dallas, then they went on the road to Seattle.
Yeah.
They won in Seattle, but certainly not a game that they were fans of.
Yeah, the first period.
First period
was weird.
First period was not a strong first period. Them kind of had to have their butts kicked a little bit in the intermission. So waiting to see how this team responds. I think another important challenge for them tonight, but is Jake Allen versus Connor Hellebuck, Jets versus Devils. Last time that they played each other, trade deadline day, and it was a 6-1 Winnipeg win.
And maybe they'll have it in the back of the mind. Maybe they won't. I think the Devils have bigger fish to fry than getting revenge for a 6-1 loss.
Yes.
They have other things on their mind to keep the Islanders behind them and certainly try to put some space, narrow the gap between themselves and Carolina.
And get their game right.
Exactly.
Get some consistency in their game. For
sure. Well, that'll do it for us. So it's going to be another fun one here tonight. It's a Friday night. Forget the snow. Get down and leave early, obviously.
Yes.
Yeah.
but it should be a great one. You can watch it on TSN. Pre-game show starts at 6:30, game at 7 o'clock. You can always listen to it as well. See, Joby?
If you're having problems getting to the rink, Sarah will come pick you up. She has the biggest vehicle I've ever seen in my life. So it's just, she has room for about 20. No joking.
It's just a big school bus.
Just $5
Just a big
gas.
school bus.
Sarah will bring you to the game. She'll talk about what she's going to talk about on
You get a
TSN.
bus.
Yeah, she'll have one of these hats for you, 30% off at the jet skier stores.
Oh,
Sarah's got a jet skier store in the back of her vehicle. That's how big it is.
We should do that for playoffs. Just drive around the city,
sell
picking
hats.
people up. Could you imagine? That'd be fun.
That's another runway edition.
Just saying.
Okay.
Anyways, thanks so much, everybody. Great to see so many of you in the chat. We hope you join us again for the next one. Jets finish off their 4-game homestand Sunday afternoon against the Vancouver Canucks. Enjoy the rest of your day, everyone.